Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teagan. With me, like always, is the man who may or may not have been a Skrull since 2019, Noah Bailey. So, Secret Invasion ended last week. We've both seen it. What are your thoughts?
It was pretty good at the start,
Uh
kind of
huh.
lost me in the middle, kind of got me back at the end, but
We got you
not a
back at the
lot.
end.
Kind of, but
Huh.
like not really.
Okay.
Like it, in some ways, it was, I don't know. It was one of those shows where it was like I wanted to be more like interested in what
Mm-hmm.
was going on, but it felt so like it was weird because they were doing big things, but it felt so small at the same time.
Yes. I'm not going to mince my words here. I've put a lot of thought into my analysis of this show. I'm not joking when I tell you I legitimately think this might be the worst thing Marvel has ever produced. Or like MCU, as
Whoa!
far as MCU, it's the worst thing MCU has
Whoa!
ever
Well,
produced.
still, wait. Let's
Let
let's.
let me defend my point. So, every other thing that people could consider to be the worst thing Marvel ever made, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Thor: The Dark World, Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man, Quantumanium, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, whatever. Like these things that people, whether they are legitimate or not, people think are bad. Almost every single thing I listed there, they have major flaws. They have things that yes, you could genuinely think I would do that differently. I think that's dumb. That's just so many different complaints you have with them. But for almost all of those, it kind of boils down to either that was messy or that was boring.
Yes.
None of them make me genuinely angry. Secret Invasion makes me genuinely angry.
Is it because they ruined what could have been much bigger?
It's because there was that potential, like you mentioned, like 3 episodes in, I was actually really, really digging it. I liked the espionage aspect of it. I liked the idea that any character can, could may or may not be a Skrull. It's the idea of it at the time. I liked Nick Fury's character a lot. I more or less liked all the supporting cast. I liked where I thought it could be going. And then it just fell off a cliff and kept going and kept going and kept going. Like, okay, when you're making a show or a Marvel thing called Secret Invasion, like, how on earth did this get past the planning stage? And the outline being the only real returning characters are Nick Fury, Maria Hill, Rhodey. That's pretty much it. Everyone
Yeah.
else is either a new character or somebody who already knows the scroll. So
Yes.
hey, I wonder who the scroll is gonna be of those three. Especially when you kill off one of them the first episode. Like
Yeah.
it's like it was no one like everyone thought even before the show
Yes.
like came out that people thought Rhodey was going to be a scroll. There were theories about it, years ago that he might like of all the Avengers, he's the most likely candidate to be a scroll. So that when he was announced for the show, oh, he's probably a Skrull. When no other
Yes.
character were announced, oh, it's him. But also, we'll only talk in a second. But also,
No, you're good. You're good. No, please.
also, within the show itself, they didn't even try to hide it. They didn't try to make it some big grand reveal. He was antagonistic towards Fury from the jump. At no
Yes.
point did Fury ever even consider him an ally to be betrayed in the first place. So, like, to the point where there was no single moment throughout the entire show where any single person had to like question if someone in the room were a scroll. Every single character Nick Fury interacted with, he already knew was a scroll, or he had complete faith that they were a person, and he was right. There was never a moment where he had to like develop some kind of secret handshake, like do something where like he pricks their finger and if they bleed red, they're a human or something. Yep.
that was the thing that was making me mad the whole time. It's like all you have to do is cut like a little cut on your hand, and oh, if it's red, you're a human. If it's not red, you're
Right?
probably not a human. Like it was
Like
just like
Nick
I'm like
Fury knew
that's
knew
so
for a fact that Rhodey was a Skrull. He knew for a fact. He had it recorded. Like he knew Rhodey was a Skrull, and he had him like pinned up against that wall in episode 4 or 5, whatever it was, and he like just rip his ear off or do something to him to like confirm it. Like all the other people in the room would shoot him immediately instead of you, and they would trust you again. Like you had no reason not to just do that. Yet he did it for some reason.
yeah. Also, like my thing about the scrolls too is like I know they could like take their memories and stuff like that because of the machines or whatever, but like does that give you mannerisms and stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You take their memories, so I
but
guess
like that wouldn't make
no,
you act the way the person
no.
does. You would just know what they know, but you wouldn't know how they would use that knowledge. Like,
Yeah, and considering Nick Fury has made it his job to know everything about everybody, like
yeah,
there should be a moment where Nick Fury is like has a meeting with Rhodey, who is completely on his side. At least he thinks he's on his side. Either he says something or he like does some mannerism or
yes,
doesn't remember something exactly right, and he's like, "Wait a minute, that's not." Don't tell it there, but he realizes like that's not right here. Or like there's never even a moment with just like the president or any other random character where it's like someone exits a room and then that character comes back in and they're a Skrull. But like we don't know that yet. People in the room don't know that yet. But like that kind of thing feels like should happen in just a thing where it's like this is Marvel's invasion of the body snatchers, or like those kinds
yes.
of stories. That doesn't ever happen. It's weird.
Yeah, and like I feel like this would have been way better. I know obviously they didn't have the budget to do this for a show, but if they had done this as a movie, I feel like if you could have gotten like more heavy hitters, I think that would have been a lot
Yeah,
more entertaining.
I feel
But
like this show would have been better if it was just like the Nick Fury show and Skrulls were involved, but then and like leading up into a Secret Invasion movie. Like,
yeah, that would have been good.
because keep in mind, the comics this is based on is a multi-issue giant event.
Yes.
Every Avenger all hands on deck here. Like, like, you're fighting people you don't know who's a Skrull. Like they're literally just it's a big deal. So big that the entire second season of Marvel of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes is just Secret Invasion. That's the entire season, pretty much. With again all the Avengers involved. Here you got 3 people who aren't even really Avengers. They're just in the Marvel universe. Like,
Rhodey's an Avenger, to be fair. I mean,
yeah, I mean he shows up when Iron Man's helping out, but he's never really. He's not there at the beginning of Age of Ultron. Like why would he?
okay, but he helped save the universe. I mean, enough. I feel like that he went back in time. He's an Avenger. Like that, you can't be like
No,
you're not
I'm being a little pedantic, but just
I know.
like,
But, still,
but like
that's
there are several times. Actually, I can only think of like twice actually where someone specifically asks Nick, "Hey, why don't you call the Avengers?" And he just kind of brushes it off. But like
yes. I mean,
Captain America, you think Bucky would be pretty good in this situation. What about, Shuri? What about, Vision's out there somewhere. What about, what about Monica? Why are you calling Monica? Like, she's up there? Like, she got powers?
probably
Hawkeye, other Hawkeye.
other Hawkeye, less good Hawkeye,
Like,
slightly worse Hawkeye.
like there are so many Avengers characters that still exist on Earth or could be on Earth in just a couple of seconds that you have no reason not to call them. Oh, because you want to You feel like you have to do it yourself, but like, but
Yeah,
why?
that didn't make any. That didn't make any. My thing is like, are you really gonna let the Skrulls take over the world because of your pride? It's like, bro, you're gonna risk losing just cause?
There's
Like,
two
what is
different
wrong with you?
situations where they were about to blow up a significant thing that would have started calamity, and you're just like, nah, I can do it myself. And luckily you did, but that was no guarantee. And I think the thing that made me the most angry about this show is, we'll get to the actual climax in just a minute, but like, after the climax is over, the president, now knows that Skrulls exist, even though he saw that Talos helped save him. There is video evidence of him getting him out of that car to safety, so you'd think he would actually be on the Skrulls, at least like be able to be swayed that some Skrulls are good. But no, the president actually then says that he is gonna do a thing where like all Skrulls should be,
No,
either killed or
it's just
sent away, and we're gonna no longer have any aliens at all come to Earth. To the point where there is now mass chaos throughout the entire country of just shooting random people.
Which is a good point. I never thought that would happen, but that would totally happen in real life.
And then Nick Fury just leaves. Like, he caused that. He caused that mass hysteria, which, by the way, should have been the entire show. Like, that is what the show should be. Nick Fury, like, coming down to Earth. He like something very early on happens where a Skrull is revealed to the world, mass hysteria. He has to find a way to clean it up, and probably the president's in on it. Like, but no, the president's just crazy. The president, like, what?
I was waiting for so long for it to be like, oh, he was a Skrull the whole time. Like, I was like that's
just
the
an
only
idiot.
explanation. Like, there's no reason you do that. That makes no sense. No, he's got to be in on it. He has to be. He's not in on it.
No,
he's just that bad.
It's crazy.
Who voted for this guy? Like, you know what I mean?
Right?
It's just like,
and
also, I thought this was really funny, but like, I know it's the president of the United States. Like, I know that's a very important person. But in comic book world, we can get a new one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there were times where it was kind of like, bro, like, it's not like these collateral. We need to save the royal people. I don't know. There were some moments where I was just like, man, he's just a guy. Like, we're the superheroes here. I mean, not superheroes. Like, we're actually people. Like,
especially since we know that Harrison Ford is going to be president next year. So, like, either an election happens shortly after this event, or he gets, impeached or whatever. But, like, or he could just die during the show. That would solve your problem instead of having to have that throwaway line of like, that's real first, that's real.
That's real.
That's like
real. One term. Like, honestly, I feel like it's not. I feel like that would actually work well for being reelected. I don't think they would let that.
Like considering wartime presidents, generally get reelected. You're not really at war, but like this.
I mean, 2004 wasn't that long ago. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like,
but again, how the heck do you write that kind of scene into this show and have it be within the last 5 minutes of your last episode when that is the entire premise of this whole show? What are you doing? Like, Gravik got what he wanted anyway, and you're just gonna leave.
Yeah, it was just like Gravik kind of like won, but he won later. It was like a long game win. It's kind of like, I didn't instantly cause the world to blow up, but you basically did.
Yeah,
and it's like, if there's a million Skrulls, they're still around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're still like they're. I don't know, man. I'm just like, they're gonna be fine.
So because Nick Fury, because he neutralized Gravik, he can just leave? It's like, no, there's nothing up there more important than right here, right now.
Actually, to protect Earth. I'm like, Earth is on fire. Leaving Earth when Earth is on fire does not make sense.
And again, I feel like you should coordinate some of the more stealthy Avengers. Get Yelena, Bucky, Hawkeye in there, and just suss out who's the Skrull, who's not, neutralize them, and then put whoever back in power. Like, that should be what you do, but no. Also, not to mention, if these Skrulls have been around, since 1995, it is crazy to me that it was never brought up that the Skrulls were on Earth during the time of the blip, because I feel like that should have been the time that they enacted their plan. That should have been the time where they took people's identities and even high up people who got blipped, they just take their place, and then after everything comes back, they just throw them in the basement. But no, instead there's just a basement full of people that they just captured, I guess. That should have used the universe that you're in. Come on, man.
Bro, that's what I'm talking about. They didn't. That was not. Yeah, that was not. See, because that makes way more sense. Because then when people just show up and they're mad different, it's like, well, he's been like this for years. So whatever.
How many years? Oh,
right.
About 3.
It's like, if I leave for 5 years and then just come back and, my brother or somebody acts different, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're clearly an alien. I'm like, well, it's been 5 years, maybe you changed.
But
you went through something crazy. I'd probably be a different person too. Seamless transition.
Yeah. Also would have been a decent opportunity for even some of the Avengers to come back a little different. I don't know.
He was a Skrull the whole time?
No, he wasn't. There is no possible way that he...
Wait. How long do you think Rhodey was actually a Skrull?
It has to be. I will not accept it being anywhere before Endgame. I cannot accept it being a Skrull being there during Iron Man's death, a Skrull being there during those 5 years, a Skrull breaking his legs, or sorry, a Skrull replacing Rhodey after he broke his legs. There's no possible way that Tony would let that happen. I know he doesn't know that Skrulls exist, but he's one of the most paranoid people in the universe. He is going to be watching him every day and night. So there's no way he got abducted then, and there's been a Skrull since 2016. Impossible.
No, that's impossible. I don't. Well, for one, I mean, they had to do invasive surgery in 2016, so that can't be a Skrull. And then Infinity War, no, you can't, and you can't fight, he's actually using the suit, fighting, doing all these in Infinity War and in Endgame, and, there's no way.
Not to mention, he has the leg braces in Infinity War and Endgame, and then, after the compound blew up and, he's in that suit, he, gets out of it, he can't quite stand upright. Clearly, that Rhodey got injured. It's
Yes.
So unless Rhodey got switched before Civil War, which makes even less sense.
There's no way.
Not to mention, if Rhodey were a Skrull and he went back in time, I feel like he would use that opportunity to do something. If you're a Skrull, I know you don't have unlimited time here, but I feel like your mission would change slightly. You would find an opportunity to I don't know, let people know of what's going to happen, or let people. I don't know. I just feel like within that 5-year period, including Endgame, you being a Skrull would matter more than just pretending to be this person who's probably dead at that point. Technically, I don't know.
I don't know. I saw a really, really funny meme online, and it was how long you been a Skrull? And it was Terrence Howard, and he said 2008. And I was.
As kind of funny as that would be, that would feel wrong.
No, it'd be so wrong.
Just racist. We're just all
but that would have been funny. They'll probably SNL or somebody will get on that. That would be amazing. But no, it hasn't been that long, to be honest. I will say though, until he started interacting with Nick Fury, I thought it was wrong, because he was he had the Rhodey sass down where he's if Switzerland rolls their eyes at me one more time.
But I feel like it was a little overdone almost. I feel like a couple of things he did and said were just too combative.
Yeah.
I know he's not exactly I can say like he's obviously very sarcastic and sassy, but it felt a little too much.
Maybe, yeah, it was a little thick. I don't know. It was funny though. But yeah, as soon as like any interaction with Nick, it was like, okay, yeah, that guy's obviously like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it also like my feeling toward the show. It also doesn't help the fact that 3 different episodes ended with someone getting shot, probably to death, but one of them didn't die. So then when Talos got stabbed, I'm like, oh, he's probably not dead because his daughter survived. So I know she had that somehow managed to get that stuff in her, which we'll go into that in a second. But like you're just gonna accept that he died. I don't know. I feel like having 3 different deaths as stingers to your episode just kind of made Talos's feel empty, to the point where the next episode started and you're like, oh, he is actually dead.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I did kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
It was very like, oh, all right. I guess we're like, you want to kind of feel bad, but like you kind of forgot that you don't really care. It's
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like,
yeah. So Gravik as a character kind of confused me. I was never really sure why he was doing what he was doing. Like, I know you're bitter at Fury. I know you're bitter at Captain Marvel, who should have showed up at some point.
why though?
Because apparently they looked everywhere and couldn't find a suitable planet for them, which is baloney.
Like, yes, that's what I was thinking. I was like, ain't no way.
But also, like, Carol Danvers flew this little set of scrolls away. Like, she was leading them somewhere. Did she just get sidetracked along the way? It's like, at some point we need accountability for what she was doing during this past 30 years, that she could just forget about them. I don't know.
It kind of felt like, villain-wise, it felt very much like Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was kind of like, I am causing chaos. Why? Because we need change. Why? Because we need conflict. Why? Because we need. It's a TV show.
No, like, it really is.
There were no. It didn't feel like there were any good reason for doing what you're doing.
They essentially.
Bad guy.
They essentially had. This is the second Disney Plus show where the villains are displaced immigrants, basically, but they're also the bad guys. But there are some good ones, I guess. But they. I don't know. Like, I don't know what
was a good guy wasn't really a good guy after all. And then you.
I don't know what statement they're trying to make when there's 2 different shows where the villains are displaced immigrants, and we're supposed to just accept that becoming a displaced immigrant makes you want to blow up the whole world. Apparently, it's like, okay, that's a little weird. But at least in that one, Falcon. Captain America, at least he more or less was like, kind of agreed that we should do something, but then nothing has happened since. Whereas Nick Fury is like, no, you gotta die, which I guess, but like, what did you think about the initial Super Skrull setup, where it was, since they can't have the Fantastic Four, they got to kind of ad-lib a little bit with some other powers that are kind of similar.
I mean, how it worked was kind of it was a little like, oh yeah, we just have this DNA that just has everyone's powers just in a vial. I'm just like, A, why do you have that? B, why is that not the most heavily guarded thing in existence?
Yeah.
And C, again, why do you have that? But like,
also, like, the point of the Super Skrull in the comics is that he has all 4 of the Fantastic Four's powers like going at the same time, and it looks cool doing it. Here, he mostly just did the Groot arm.
Yeah, and like Captain Marvel a little bit, and then like,
but before he did like the full.
He
just Groot arm. He regenerated. He never used the ice powers. He never really brought out the cool obsidian power. He just Groot arm over and over again. It's like that's so lame.
Time out. Also, where are the ice powers from again?
At the after credit scene of Thor 2, a frost beast is just roaming a parking lot.
There. Okay, I was about to say. I was like, because I was thinking, I was like, who has ice powers? But see, Thor 2 after credits. See, I was already gone by the time the credits were rolling. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But then we got all the powers shoved together.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And
they didn't use them.
No, in a scene that pretty much is like, hey, you know that thing we made fun of in She-Hulk? Yeah, we're just gonna do that again.
Also, how do they know how to use the powers? That's my biggest thing.
It is insane to me that she would sprout the antenna and be like, sleep. No. Heck no. No.
First of all, unless you did extensive research on every individual Avenger, you have and the villains, by the way. I mean, bro was using Ebony Maw's powers like this. Yeah. You don't know who that is. Especially you do not know who that is.
Mantis was on the planet. Mantis was on this planet for all 12 minutes. There's no possible way you knew what she was up to.
Bro, Kevin Bacon doesn't even know how she works. How do you know? Like, I mean, like, there's no, like that. Like, it was just like you can't just casually know how to use all these because these powers are not intuitive. So it's like you can't just like, oh yeah,
right. Like she used Ghost's powers, and those don't even really. That didn't even really change her DNA. That was just something that, like, because she spent time in the quantum realm, her essence was just like glitchy. It's like that's not really even a power.
I don't know how that works. I don't know. Also, I feel like a lot of the ones that I guess they mostly had powers, but I was like, I mean,
no.
If you get Bucky and Captain America, does that really give you? You know what I mean? Like, what does that give you?
Bucky and Captain America, but you also have Hulk. You don't need them.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, do you really need Black Panther if you have Hulk? Like, not disrespect, but you don't really need that.
You already have Cole Obsidian, so you kind of already got it.
Yeah.
Drax's arms.
If you die now that you have Thor and Black, do you go to the ancestral plane? Do you go to Valhalla? Like, how does that? Yeah. Like, how does that even how does that happen?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And Gravik just kind of dies. Like, yeah, he gets blasted with a Captain Marvel blast, but why did that do him in? Why couldn't he just heal that with any of the various healing factors of, Hulk has a crazy one.
Hulk can't die, right?
Hulk can't die. The whatever, the red stuff from Iron Man 3, that heals you. It's all that together would do something, but no.
No, I mean, they only had 10 minutes left, so they had to wrap it up.
Speaking of which, it's the first 3 episodes were almost an hour, and then each one after that was 35 minutes.
Yes.
What is this? What are we doing?
Also, I need to talk about this. Why did we have the longest intro in history for no reason? A ridiculously long intro.
2 minutes long.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not even interesting. You don't really see anything. It's kind of all just he's kind of off green colored stuff.
It's it's also weirdly AI generated, which for this show kind of works because they were going for that uncanny valley.
But
because
not really.
But the show didn't follow up on that because the intrigue was lost by episode 3. So it's I don't know why this is still going. It also kind of is funny because on Disney Plus you're able to skip the intro.
Yes.
But for stuff this. It's 2 minutes. Yeah, absolutely skip that. But then Bad Batch literally has 2 seconds. Episode title over. It's
but it still says skip intro.
You can still skip the intro.
You can. I feel like pressing skip intro would take longer than just.
Genuinely, it does sometimes. If your computer or TV lags at all, it does take longer.
Yeah. So it's but yeah, I don't know why it was just so weird. It was just this is such an odd choice to have this super long intro because the other shows didn't really have long intros, did they? Really?
I don't think so.
Like,
Uh,
I mean, She-Hulk's was like, I mean, I remember the like outro
yeah,
credits being a while, but they're always like that. But like the
yeah.
intro, I don't even remember.
I don't remember any of them. Loki having like a pretty short one, just the logo changing,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
WandaVision's were iconic, so I forgive that one.
Yeah, that's different. I mean, those were like episode specific.
Yeah,
I even remember Captain, or yeah,
Captain.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
I
yeah,
don't remember Miss
but
Marvels. I don't remember any of the others, but but they weren't nearly 2 minutes, not even close.
no, it was so. And again, it was like, why?
I don't know.
Like,
Also, you would think that this show, something in this show should matter when the Marvels comes out in a couple of months. But there was no after credit scene for this show to lead into that. Like Captain Marvel was barely mentioned. Monica wasn't mentioned at all. Like there are scrolls up in Sword, but that wasn't talked about. Like I don't know if anything in this show is actually going to matter outside of just, hey, this is what Nick Fury's been up to. But then he's just going back up there, so it's not like if he never left, you wouldn't know. It's weird.
yeah,
And now Gaia is just has all of these infinite
right.
abilities,
That's what I was thinking.
and she's just kind of she's just allowed to exist. Nick Fury didn't like talk to her after that. She could just be like that's. I don't know about that.
No, like I don't really trust her. Your dad just died. You're kind of not really the most
Yeah,
like
stable.
trustworthy at this point, anyway. So
Like
now I'm like, I
it,
don't
like at
know.
least that British lady is like kind of has her, but I don't really know where she aligns either. So it's
I will say I did like her character,
yeah,
but I thought, why didn't we just make her Faye and just do the same thing? Because I feel like that would have made Faye more interesting. But
probably yeah, probably
right,
yeah.
because like I mean I know we're in a different country, I guess, and like she did the like polite threatening thing, which I always do, like a polite threatening
Hmm.
person. I always think that's a good villain trope, but like yeah, I just feel like that kind of just was an extra character for no reason. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
but it is what it is.
Also, like I don't know. Even if you're not breaking in other Avengers, I feel this could have been an opportunity for someone like the Power Broker to show up in some capacity.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. I feel like there is just a couple of things that that
missed
from the
opportunity.
grander universe that should have been brought in here. And even if those weren't there, just the fact that it is this, again, like this invasion of the body snatchers type situation in concept, they didn't even use that concept well at all. and any like intrigue and spy thriller vibes were completely thrown out when the climax is just the big CG battle that's only like 3 minutes long and it just ends with a big blast.
Yeah,
It's like okay. I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this is the from memory the only Marvel MCU thing that genuinely frustrates me in this way. Because Thor: Love and Thunder, I like that movie because it is kind of fun. It's not good, but it is kind of fun to watch. Same with Doctor Strange. Same with most of the other MCU shows. Like a lot of them aren't the best they could be. A lot of them have potential that they don't live up to, but just they never get to me like this show did, and it's it's really annoying. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, there was potential here, definitely. Like there is for a lot of things, but yeah, it just I don't know. There was a lot of just kind of. You ever feel like there's a lot of just kind of things happening, but it was just like, what does this have to do? Like
Uh-huh.
even the like, I don't mean to be mean, but even the thing with like Nick Fury's wife felt so like. I
Why
mean,
should we
that did,
care?
yeah, that didn't need to be like 3 episodes long. That could have been like a 10-minute thing. and maybe she came back at the end.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that she was in it way more than we really needed. Especially like, it wasn't like a secret she was a scroll, and also like
Yeah.
anything like that.
Like, how
But
cool would it have been if Nick Fury went in a situation where he's talking to somebody he thinks he trusts, and like they do something that, he obviously doesn't know, they don't usually do, and he like reveals them to be a scroll and it's his wife. Like, that could have been something. But no. She kind of almost turns on him and then doesn't. Like, that's the extent of her character. And then they get in the big shootout, and then she's not in the show anymore. Okay.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. Also, everyone having like what looks like the same gun,
yeah.
the same like handgun. It was just kind of like, so do we just not do we all just go to the same store? Like I understand we're like a lot of us are government issued, but it's like, come on, guys. Like, I felt like everyone was taking turns passing around the same prop. It was just kind of like,
Right.
come on now. But
Yeah. Like, yeah, it'd be very, very hard to recommend the show to somebody. Like, at least
Yeah.
other shows, there's parts of it that I really, really like. There's parts of it that I could recommend. Like, Miss Marvel, I could easily be like, yeah, watch the first two and the last one. You'd be pretty much get what the good parts of the show is.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, there are specific episodes that I think are really strong.
The Daredevil ones are really
Oh
good.
yeah, oh yeah. Hawkeye is overall pretty fun. Falcon Winter Soldier, solid enough. Like, WandaVision's obviously the best. Loki,
Yeah,
right up there.
Yeah.
But this show, almost no redeeming qualities as far as like the greater whole.
Yeah, it happened, but yeah, it kind of this, especially with no real consequences going forward. It feels like, kind of just feels like, yeah, there's no real anything going on
And
here.
I think the thing that makes it the most frustrating for me is because I spend probably too much time on Twitter, but like I first 3 episodes I was really digging it. People online weren't really into it. They were kind of clowning on people who weren't really watching it. The people that were watching it weren't really into it. I'm like, y'all people are just mean. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think what was been shown so far is really, really good. And then when credits rolled and the no after credit scene, my roommate and I were just sitting there, and literally the first words out of my mouth were, "That was pretty lame." Like, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother ranking it or rating it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It disappointed me too much. I think last thoughts you want to give on it.
I mean, it was okay. I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was great. It was kind of just okay. There were some moments that I liked. There were a lot that I didn't, but there were a lot that okay. There were some I liked, some I didn't, and a lot I was just kind of meh. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry if we spoiled it for any viewers out there, but it's for your own good.
There wasn't really a lot to spoil, though.
That's also true.
That's kind of the weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was no like secrets really. It was kind of like, hey, you know that guy who's acting really out of character? He's not himself. Shocker.
Whoa. Ooh, what is that?
Hey.
Anyway, let's move on over to a probably good MCU show for Disney Plus. Loki season 2 trailer finally dropped.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
We heard Jonathan Major's voice, so he is, I guess, not canceled for the time being.
For now.
So hopefully that works out.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Maybe Disney knows more than we do, or maybe they're just hedging their bets, or maybe they just couldn't recast or refilm, or maybe they just don't care. Probably that last one. But yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so far they haven't shown anything that has made me, afraid. It looks like the vibes are exactly what I wanted from this show. Loki using his magic more is definitely what I wanted. Sylvie is still around, Owen Wilson is still around. Like we're still, all the parts, all the things I like from the first season are still going to be there, and hopefully more. So, good. Yeah, it was in October, so at least one good Marvel thing to look forward to this year. Not to slide the Marvels, but I'm actually looking forward to this. Speaking of Marvel things coming out in October, Kraven the Hunter is no longer coming out in October.
Oh no.
In fact, during a recent Sony, earnings call thing, they actually announced that Kraven is getting delayed till now after Venom 3 next year.
Oh no.
What that tells me is I think the studio, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Suicide Squad situation. Hopefully not as bad, but also it could potentially be that bad. We're like, essentially the studio saw the end product, because we're close enough where the end product should mostly be done. And they're like, this is crap top to bottom. There is no salvaging this without major reshoots. However, all the actors are not working right now due to the strikes. So we gotta write. No, we can't write either because the writers are striking. Oh, hang on. So I'm thinking there's we need to wait until this is all over. We're gonna give it a year pretty much. Coming out next August. Hopefully by then we can write new scenes to fix the movie. There's no reason why a pretty much finished product is going to be delayed almost a year if that's not why. Right?
I mean, yeah, also they just, I don't know, Because
the same thing happened with Morbius, where it constant reshoots over and over and over again with a end product that wasn't very good anyway.
That's my thing. It's like, you're not going to save it. Just let it go. It's not going to just let it go. It's okay.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But at least Venom 3 is coming out next July. So that's something, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's better than. It's better than all the other stuff, but again, But I don't know. Some people really like the Venom movies, I guess. So
yeah, the second one is pretty unanimously not loved nearly as much. The first one's not top tier. No. But man, just we didn't even really know Venom 3 was happening until this earnings call, and then so now it's Kraven's going to delay till after it's done. It's just very funny. They also went ahead and announced that Beyond the Spider-Verse is delayed indefinitely, which doesn't mean it's canceled. It just means they don't know an exact release date at this point, which I'm fine with.
Yes, and also no, because it's oh man, I was really looking forward to that sooner rather than later. But again, no need to rush it.
Yeah.
They're probably almost done with it already, so.
I'm sure I imagine the animation at least mostly done. I think probably just the voice acting hadn't been completely finished yet. And since a lot of it is I don't want to say real actors, but you know what I mean? Not most...
not typical voice acting.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. Yeah,
you say it on our channel.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. They know, we know, we all know.
Yeah, since a lot of them are taking part in the actor strike, which theoretically, as early as Friday, they could come to some. There's going to be some big talk on Friday, but I doubt it's actually going to be solved this soon. But regardless, until all that's resolved and they can actually get everything, polished perfectly, it's delayed until they can nail it down, which I feel personally better about that than them being like, oh yeah, it's instead of March, it's actually June, and then it can't be June. Oh, it's actually gonna be August, and then it
Yeah,
just go from there until it's
just
2026, and then
until
yeah,
further notice, until they know for sure. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. Because I know we've compared this to Tears of the Kingdom before, but like that's kind of what they did with Tears of the Kingdom, where it's like at first it was announced in 2019 for sometime in the future. And it was re-revealed in 21 for the next year, and then in beginning of 22 they're like, actually not this year. We'll let you know when, and then eventually, even like I think it was like September before we got a hard May release date. It was like that's it. It's like good. um, let's go back to Venom for just a second. What the heck do you think a Venom 3 could even be if they already used, Carnage? Like what could they do?
Maybe some weird take on like some of the other like Agent Venom or Toxic or something. I don't know, but even then, probably not. I don't know. Honestly, that's a good point.
Like what is
Maybe
the
like Venom officially tries to be a hero now. I don't know.
are, are they gonna try to tie this all together and have like essentially their weird Sinister Six go up against Venom? Have the Vulture, Morbius, Kraven, maybe get Scorpion in there, and just have them fight Venom, maybe.
I mean, that honestly, that'd probably be better than what they're going to do. But
Which is not
it's
good either. But
no, but I mean, like, comparing
yeah,
wise, I mean,
yeah,
especially if they're doing like, yeah, I don't know what they would do really. I don't know, but like if Craven's coming out after now, probably not the Sinister Six thing, just
oh,
because.
that's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah, you probably have to rearrange your entire movie unless it's a prequel, which I guess they could also do that too. But then what's the incentive to
yeah,
watch it? But
yeah,
then again, what's the incentive to watch it now? So there's that too.
yeah,
I don't know, but
yeah,
I mean, it could be okay. It probably won't. Like I probably won't want to see it, but I'm sure others might just because it's Venom. But yeah,
yeah,
depending on what they decide to do, who knows what could happen.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of a superhero movie where the quality is completely up in the air, um, it was announced to like a kind of officially announced today that a Wonder Woman 3 is or it is kind of technically in production. So
Uh,
so there's been a lot of weird reporting with this. So it was initially announced as a Wonder Woman 3 starring Gal Gadot is in production. And then very quickly after, like, oh no, wait, it's like a kind of soft reboot starring Gal Gadot in James Gunn's new universe. Wait, it's actually this Elseworld story, but not connected to any of the other DC stuff.
so nobody knows anything.
Wait, the wording of what Gal Gadot said, she is just working on the project with James Gunn and Peter Safran, so it may not even be she's actually Wonder Woman. She's just spearheading the project, kind of like Christopher Nolan did with Man of Steel, where like he's not actually like Batman's not in it. He's not actually having any like big input. He's just executive producer to be like, yeah, that's good, like like it could just be that where she's just technically attached to the project, but
So this went from Wonder Woman 3 to Gal Gadot might be like behind the scenes of this movie.
yes, within the span of a
That is
couple of hours.
that's literally okay. That's like no one has any idea what's going on. First of
No,
all, because
Eh,
that's literally nothing.
no,
Second of all, that makes no sense to make another Wonder Woman movie because James Gunn's doing his own thing with Superman. So by the time this Wonder Woman thing came out, you have conflicting universes.
correct.
B, no, we're done.
No,
Like we're
no.
done with the Snyder. Like we're done. Like I know we still have to for some reason do Aquaman 2, but like
Mm-hmm.
we're done. We're done. Like that. We're done with this. This isn't doing anything else. We're wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying, you know what, we did okay, or at least we thought we did,
Mm.
and that's it. And also, like, I mean, yeah, just kind of, I don't, yeah, it doesn't really make any sense to like add on to a universe you've completely like started a new one of.
Yep.
Especially, yeah, it doesn't know. But
No.
anything's possible, I guess. I just don't think it's likely. Also, the last one did not do well, and also her cameos in the recent movies were not like the movies weren't great, and also her cameos didn't really make any sense
Uh
either.
huh.
So like,
Like, like Wonder Woman 1994 might genuinely be one of the worst superhero movies ever made. It is at least one of the sloppiest. And then yeah, her
pretty
weird
bad.
cameo randomly at the end of Fury of the Gods.
With the action music
Weird,
at
like
the funeral
it's weird,
for
yeah.
some reason.
And then she's just again just random cameo in this. Like I've never been on the bandwagon of Gal Gadot is one of the worst actresses working. Like she's fine, not great, but fine. But it really does seem like
Yeah.
every cameo she just seems to care less and less.
Honestly, I think she just likes wearing the costume.
No, that's
But
fair. It's a cool costume,
which
but
like
like
I would too.
yeah.
But like, but yeah, it doesn't really
Mm.
make a lot of sense otherwise. But
So my money is on James Gunn has approached Gal Gadot to at least executive produce the next Wonder Woman thing, even though she's not actually going to be in it.
I don't think it's anything. I'll be honest. I don't think she's involved at all. I think this is just speculation at best. I like when you go from Wonder Woman 3 to she might be behind. You have zero. You don't know what's going on. So I think until I get anything, I don't think it's anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it might just be someone misheard something. Honestly,
Because we know a Paradise Lost show that's focused on Themyscira is happening under James Gunn's watch. And there's a chance a Wonder Woman could show up in that. And if it's her, then yeah, we'll believe you. But if it's not her, then I don't think she's going to be playing Wonder Woman anymore.
nope. And also, I mean, if you were gonna keep anybody, you were probably gonna keep Henry Cavill, not Gal Gadot. Like
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's one. So if you already picked new Superman, you're definitely picking a new everyone else. So
Like at this point, essentially, I feel like the only characters that you should and can keep are Peacemaker, Harley Quinn, Viola Davis. Everyone else,
yeah, we keep Viola Davis.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like hard to do because they've been in so many things. It's like, are people gonna like? Do you really want this remnant from your last universe?
I don't. At this point, I don't really feel like Harley Quinn's stuff is a remnant of that universe anymore because, the Birds of Prey movie isn't really connected to anything. Not really. Like they mention Joker, but they never show him. They never confirm it is that Joker. Batman doesn't show up. No, there's barely even any references to things that happen within that universe. The Suicide Squad is really not a sequel to has some of the same characters, not a sequel to Suicide Squad. It's not really in that universe per se. Although in the last episode of Peacemaker, the Justice League does show up, although we only see the faces of Aquaman and Flash. The other characters are like shadows.
Silhouettes,
So those could be anybody, but also when Barry rewrote the timeline, also we'll just assume new thing entirely. So a lot of that could be multiverse,
I guess, but I'm just like, you might as well just restart everything. Like I know Viola Davis is perfect casting, but
Margot Robbie is perfect for Harley Quinn.
I know,
you cannot
but,
get anyone better.
I know, but also, do we know how much Harley Quinn's going to be involved in this universe per se?
No.
I know she was given a much bigger role in this last one because you got Margot Robbie, which makes sense. You don't get her to play a C-list character, C amount of screen time, but I don't know.
Especially after Barbie. I mean, I know she wasn't the main draw, but the name, the Barbie branding was, but
but she's basically. Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to get anyone else to play her Barbie. I mean, she looks like a Barbie doll in real life, pretty much.
Yeah. So after, her biggest success ever, it would be in Warner Brothers' best interest to keep, trying to bank on that.
Yeah.
If James Gunn agrees, then yeah, let him do it.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, they could. I mean, who knows for sure? But I mean, they definitely could. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be pretty insulting to Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill if they're both recast, but Gal Gadot gets to stick around when she
Yeah.
was not anyone's favorite of those three.
No.
Like I liked her, but
She had the look down.
yeah,
But I don't know
that's
if she
fine.
had the like. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it worked.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the case for all three of them. Well, Superman, he looked like Superman. Obviously, the characterization was
Yeah,
off,
he
but
didn't
like
act. He was not
visually,
written
I
well,
think it was
but-
about as outside of the like. There should have been something to break up all the blue, but other than that,
Yeah,
overall,
the costume wasn't perfect, but
yeah, from the waist up, pretty good. um, yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of years for DC stuff. We'll see how it shakes out.
I just hope the Superman Legacy comes out and is awesome and exactly how it needs to be, and then
Yep.
just breaks the box office.
Yes,
and we're
I
just
hope
back
it
to
makes.
regular. $2 billion.
I hope it makes a significant amount more than Man of Steel, just so they'll shut up. Like
It probably will.
Man of Steel made I think it made like 670, like somewhere
600,
around there,
yeah.
600 something. If it makes in the 700, 800 range, oh boy, the fame was to be like, if you adjust for inflation, actually, like shut up, no one cares.
Oh,
They
man.
will.
They will. I mean, they're going to regardless. Like, it doesn't. This could. I mean, that movie could make $3 billion, and people are still going to be like, it's not. It's still not definitively better, and because Superman doesn't learn, and
Like Zack Snyder's highest grossing movie, BVS, outgrossed James Gunn's highest grossing movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So who's the better director? The movie with Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman only made $870 million, whereas the Guardians of the Galaxy made 830 something. Huh? Interesting. It's like these
I
characters.
think that's funny because it's like
no one
very
knows.
close.
Yeah. Like within spitting distance of each other, and you're really trying to flex that with the like three most iconic superheroes of all time can barely outgross the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, people are gonna people. You know
I
how that
know.
goes.
I just find it funny. Okay, I think that's all I have. Anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
I don't believe so. I don't. No, nothing else. Just we're waiting. Oh wait, doesn't Ninja Turtles come out?
Yes,
This
Saturday.
week?
Yeah, or
Saturday.
week.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
it might technically be in theaters now, but like it's really this weekend.
Yeah, the weekend's the really like telling point. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I do want to check that out. I think that's gonna be pretty good. So I'm excited.
Yeah, has a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is
Woo.
very good.
All right.
Every single person I've seen who saw it is like, yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna assemble the squad.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna see it this Saturday. Yeah, it's one of those movies where like, I keep forgetting it's coming out.
Yes, and now it's here.
It's like, oh, cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And then in 2 weeks, Blue Beetle. Hopefully
Oh,
be. Yeah.
I think I do worry Blue Beetle has the you've already seen the best parts effect.
Yeah.
But
But
I could be wrong.
yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
I want that movie to make more than The Flash. Not that it's a high bar, but like it would be very funny if Blue Beetle made more than The Flash.
Probably will.
This needs to cross like 300.
Yeah, which
Doable?
I feel like it's definitely doable. It's just
word of mouth really is gonna carry it.
yeah, like it just depends. Like if it's as long as it's decent, it probably will.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care.